While the home viewing public was still reeling from Oscar night, that one night a year when Hollywood dislocate their own shoulder blades patting themselves on the back, while Weinstein pats him everywhere else, the true performance was already booked. Michael Cohen copping a plea and spilling the tea before Congress. But instead of Rami Malek winning in the first year category of most fucking freaky looking, we got Alexandria Ocasio-Chavez, fresh from dressing like Benny Hinn to own Drumpf, sidling up alongside the rest of the flying facelifts in Congress to grill the president's former lawyer on, well...
How many times did the president, Michael, ask you or direct you to try to reach settlements with women in 2015 and 2016?
Yeah, I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't have the answer to that. I'd have to go back and try to recollect.
Bear in mind, this entire hearing comes at the behest of the raggedy-ass Russia investigation, and to that crucial end, the sole purpose of which allowed the government to justify paying sitting congressmen metric shitloads to cross-examine this cunt. What did Cohen have to say? Well...
Questions have been raised about whether I know of direct evidence that Mr. Trump or his campaign colluded with Russia. I do not.
Hey, that was quick. Who wants pizza poppers? My treat. In fact, I think there's a spring training game on.
Did Mr. Trump tell you to offer Vladimir Putin a free penthouse?
No, ma'am.
So where does
that was Felix Sater. It was a marketing stunt.
Roger Stone says he never spoke with Mr. Trump about WikiLeaks. How can we corroborate what you are saying?
I don't know, but I suspect that the special counsel's office and other government agencies have the information that you're seeking.
Oh, it's another one of those. Fire up the fucking Rant Alert. Before we proceed, pressing business. If you actually planted your posterior and endured this C-SPAN symphony of stupidity, knowing full well Alex Jones was going golden great ape Super Saiyan on Joe Rogan's show, you, my friend, made the wrongest of fucking calls.
My family, your family, none of us are going to make it. There's a post-human era coming, the breakaway civilization, the deal's been made. It's not It's not in the third dimension. They've made frickin' deals with interdimensional aliens.
Okay.
So that's what I'm telling you is, it's been in the newspaper that the cell towers are being used for mind control. So this is a device given to us by the gods that the breakaway government, NASA, has developed that you don't just think they made up themselves, right? They're fucking killing already born kids, so you're telling me it isn't real when they had a fucking vote in the goddamn fucking Senate?
That's a conspiracy theory.
I am ready to beat your
That's a
fucking ass.
conspiracy theory.
You think you're fucking tough, you're about to get it. Bullshit! They're killing already born babies! Stop fucking lying! God fucking damn it!
Second, you would have learned every bit as much about genuine wrongdoing by tuning in to watch AJ go goose shit on Rogan, because as last night's testimony leak confirmed, Cohen was holding a piping hot set of snake eyes, something that should have been readily evident the moment Cohen confirmed he'd met with Mueller 7 fucking times. Folks, I don't think I've seen my primary care physician 7 fucking times. If you're that well acquainted in fucking familial fashion, it goes a long way to explaining why Mueller is still sitting on dick with a side of fuck all for evidence. But to me, this is almost secondary to the pertinent issue. Look, even if you bought into this bullshit absent evidence, despite being delivered by a guy who reportedly begged for a position in the Trump administration multiple motherfucking times.
Said clearly to Mr. Cloud and Mr. Jordan that the Southern District of New York lawyers were being untruthful in characterizing your desire to work in the administration. Do you say again that the lawyers of the Southern District of New York are being untruthful in making that characterization, yes or no?
I'm saying that's not accurate.
Okay, so you're saying they're being untruthful.
I'm not using the word untruthful. That's yours. I'm saying that that's not accurate. I did not want a role or a title in the administration.
I'm sure the lawyers...
I got the title that I wanted.
I'm sure the lawyers of the SDNY appreciate that distinction.
I think we can all agree this is political theater. If the Hillary email hearings were political theater, and certainly the mainstream media pushed that narrative harder than Louis Anderson in a portageon on Fondue Friday, then a politically connected goddamn goober who already perjured himself and whose testimony conflicts with multiple basic timetable-oriented facts we know to be the case qualifies as kabuki.
Question, you testified today you have never been to Prague and have never been to the Czech Republic. Do you stand behind that statement?
Yes, I do.
I offer into the record an article in known conservative news magazine Mother Jones by David Cohen, in which he says he reviewed his notes from a phone call with Mr. Cohen, that Mr. Cohen said, quote, "I haven't been to Prague in 14 years. I was in Prague for one afternoon 14 years ago," end quote.
Why do I mention this? Well, what did I tell you going all the way back to before the 2016 election? General elections are not won on single issues. They aren't won on painstaking proof and indefatigable evidence. They're won on one thing precisely: broad optics. And not if I use the Matrix mind jack to power inject the collected works of P.T. Barnum, Tony Robbins, and Peter Molyneux into my medulla and jog my think box with methamphetamine could I have physically fucking envisaged worse broad general electorate optics for the Democrats than this. Trump overseas, actively mediating peace on the Korean Peninsula, while at home, the Democrats are dining on double nothing burgers with cheese at Michael Cohen's fucking fiction workshop. Some of the pertinent accusations? Trump was leaked knowledge of the WikiLeaks transcripts of DNC documents, that they did so after phone calls with famed fucking double agent Roger Stone, and he didn't actually want to win the election. All quite damning. Provided you aren't aware, WikiLeaks teased said document drop a month before Cohen alleges Trump was slipped the information.
As I earlier stated, Mr. Trump knew from Roger Stone in advance about the WikiLeaks drop of emails in July of 2016.
That WikiLeaks is the only party involved consistent in their repeated assertions that they have never once had a phone call with Roger Stone, and that if you don't want to win a presidential election, it's strange tactics to then collude with fucking Russia to win the goddamn election. Who the fuck is your speechwriter, Jussie Smollett? But wait, it gets spicier.
Let me now tell you about Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump is a racist. The country has seen Mr. Trump court white supremacists and bigots.
Mr. Cohen, you called Donald Trump a cheat in your opening testimony. What would you call yourself?
A fool.
You calling, okay, well, no comment on that.
So basically, by convening this Congress and paying them all insultingly high salaries to play 20 questions with a quisling of queens, we learned precisely, dick, we couldn't already have heard firing up an episode of Anderson fucking Cooper. But there's an easy fix for all this. This is Michael Cohen, the cuck with the recorder. By his own admission, he records every call he ever has.
You, as my friend Mr. Armstrong rightly inquired, offered to this committee taped information involving your clients with the bat of an eye. Do you stand behind that offer?
If the chairman asks me, and I'll take it under advisement now, and it's not a problem in terms of attorney-client privilege, yes, I will turn it over.
Sweet! Then it should be a goddamn cinch to provide the recordings of the conversations between yourself, Trump, and Roger Stone. Go on. We'll wait.
It never arrived.
Or what about Cohen's allegation that in order to avoid the payment being traced back to him, Trump directed Cohen to pay Stormy Daniels out of the lawyer's own personal account? Sounds ominous, right? Confirming much of the tabloid sensationalism swirling in the asshat ether lo these many months. But, like almost everything Cohen spewed, upon considering it for more than a microsecond, it collapses like a balsa wood chair at a feminist poetry slam. If Cohen paid a porn star out of his own personal account, Trump would have had to cut him a check. So in order to avoid a paper trail, he created more of a fucking paper trail? Fucking huh?
I don't know what any of that means, but it sounds fucking retarded.
Never mind his allegation that Stormy was paid in, quote, 11 separate installments while he was president, a direct contradiction of the original Wall Street Journal story from October 2016, a month before he was president, which unless he was paying her every 15 fucking seconds, we'd have to assume was in monthly installments. Problem? Stormy started shopping her fucking fap tail within months of Trump achieving an election. So in effect, Cohen's telling us Stormy broke the fucking hush agreement, and then Trump paid her 10 more times anyways for shits and goddamn giggles. But hey, here I go again with all these pesky fucking facts.
Mr. Trump directed me to use my own personal funds from a home equity line of credit to avoid any money being traced back to him that could negatively impact his campaign. And I am going to jail in part because of my decision to help Mr. Trump hide that payment from the American people.
Motherfucker, you're not going to jail because of Donald Trump. You're going to jail because of Michael Cohen. You've been dirtier than Detroit tap water for decades, what with that skeegy-ass taxi and limo medallion bullshit you ducked taxes on until you were finally shit-hammered for it last year. You know a great way to defuse Trump's repeated allegation that the swamp has agents embedded at high levels of government to waste our money, waste our time, and upend the will of the voters at every turn? Yet probably not to pay a slavering pack of political elites to lick a politically connected, indescribably iniquitous lawyer's taint clean on live TV for hundreds of thousands of dollars a goddamn hour. But hey, you keep reaching for that fucking rainbow, which brings me back once again to optics. And I say this for the libs among us. Listen, no judgment here, but really, truly, get the old noggin jogging and think this through for a second. To win an election, it ain't enough to fondle your base's balls. You need the general public, and you need fucking lots of them. Agreed? Now, when you contemplate a witness whose testimony could once and truly exorcise the demon Donald once and for all and expose the unbridled evil at his arch-fiend core, how high in the credibility power rankings would you suppose a shitbag lawyer that was confirmedly corrupt before he had a single phone call with Donald Trump would be to the average apolitical American citizen exactly? That, young Skywalker, is why you fail. And it's been a recurrent issue in the ongoing political procto probe. What we were told was Cohen had the goods on Russia. What we received was 5 hours of microphone popping and porn stars. In short, something we could have learned in 15 minutes watching Rachel Maddow's Adam's apple bob up and down on MSNBC. The more I watch the slow disintegration of the Mueller investigation, the more persuaded I am that Lindsey Graham was wrong. This is not political theater, because theater knows when to end. I'm Razor Fist. God fucking speed.
You're a psychopathic liar. Your soul is on fire. You're bluffing with nothing while the stakes are getting higher. Why trust you? You never made a dream come true.
He never expected to win the primary. He never expected to win the general election. He lied about it because he never expected to win.
Would he have the potential to cooperate or collude with a foreign power to win the presidency at all costs?
Yes. He never expected to win. Never expected to win.
Do you understand?
Yes.